In this video, we will continue our series on the ASV scanning and attestation process for customers and ASVs that use the same product for the attestation of scan compliance process. In previous videos, we described the process for creating scans, creating identities, and other processes used by the customer or on behalf of the customer for scanning disputes in the attestation process. In this video, we'll discuss the ASV's role and process for handling customer disputes. Per the ASV program guide, customers may dispute findings that fail compliance. When that occurs, it's up to you as the ASV to review the dispute request and any evidence provided from the customer to determine whether to accept the dispute and pass the finding or reject the request and require the customer to take other actions to resolve the issues, rescan, and resubmit a scan that will pass. As ASVs that license the same product that supports the ASV process, the following steps are provided to support reviewing and responding to these requests. So as we see, we have a dashboard that's typical of the default Saint product and Saint Security Suite and VRM and other type of products. To look at disputes as the ASV, you're looking under the Analyze tab, and we'll just see as the disputes option. And this will take you to any disputes that have been submitted for you as the ASV. In this instance, we see two previous scans on the same issue that have been approved for various reasons by the administrator. In this case, we have a third submission that is still open based on a false positive. And we can look at this information from the dispute from the customer. You see that the reason why they're providing this dispute is they believe it's a false positive and that a compliant version is installed and verified with an attached screenshot. There may be other reasons why they're submitting a dispute, such as a compensating control that as an ASV you'll have to investigate to determine whether those controls meet the PCI requirements. In some cases, they may disagree and dispute the CVSS score, which in most cases is a little bit more complicated because you have to go back now and determine whether the CVSS score that NIST has established can be in conflict, and you have evidence that they'll provide approval for you to change that CVSS score or accept a different result. False positives oftentimes are the most frequently submitted dispute. There may be cases where the scanner did not find a particular finding, particularly when it comes to a version that may be a credential scan or could be required, some other reason why a definitive version check couldn't be provided by a scanner. So in this case, it was due to a false positive submission, and they provided evidence. So we can look at that evidence in the dispute. In this case, it's a screenshot. So we can look at that file and make a determination how we want to respond. So under the response section, you have various options. First of all, to approve or deny and provide information back on why you were denying the request. Or just a request to provide more information. Maybe that screenshot alone was not complete evidence and you require more information. And we provide a response back. You'll have to provide details back to the customer in terms of why that response was provided. In this case, we'll approve the dispute and the evidence submitted. And in some cases, if the same vulnerability has been submitted through different scans, you can see a new tab here that says Other Occurrences of this dispute. And you can review prior actions that you as an ASV have made. But oftentimes is good information because the same vulnerability may be provided in a dispute in multiple occurrences. So looking at prior history can give you a lot of guidance on how to proceed in the current dispute. So we'll accept this dispute. And now for the customer side, that vulnerability that was submitted will be accepted and will now pass compliance based on your acceptance of their dispute. Once all disputes have been resolved for the customer, they'll receive the notifications that they're ready to proceed with their attestation. And we can see here that all current disputes have been resolved and accepted as an ASV, and we have no further actions. So that completes this video The next video will be on the ASV processing of attestation requests.